3 seconds, one simple line, and the world suddenly fell silent. Hello everyone, welcome to VKOOK TV. At the beginning of 2026, it wasn't an explosion or flashing cameras that shook the BTS world. It was something far quieter. A logo, a line. Yet behind that simplicity lay a story too honest to ignore. This is not just about design. This is about trust. About conversations never caught on camera. And about two names that continue to make the world ask, are we really seeing everything? Or are we being asked to pretend we don't? In this video, we will take you into the deepest layers of a story that has split the global fandom between emotion, anger, and a suffocating sense of finally. And trust us, after watching until the end, your perspective will never be the same again. January 2026 did not open with fireworks or massive press conferences. It began with something far quieter, a new BTS logo, minimalist, calm. And yet, that is precisely where the emotional explosion began. Behind that seemingly simple line circulated a story that divided the global fandom between tears, anger, and a breath-catching sense of finally. In an entertainment world built on constructed images, this story feels far too honest to ignore. A logo that was never neutral. Many assume a logo is merely a visual strategy. But for BTS, symbols have always had a soul. According to trusted sources in South Korea's creative industry in early 2026, the original idea for this logo was born from Jungkook. In silence, with quiet courage. He did not arrive with a grand presentation. He arrived with feeling. But before that line was formalized as an identity, Jungkook did something rarely discussed. He asked Kim Taehyung. Not because he doubted himself, but because he understood one important truth. Their closeness was never just that of groupmates. There was a sensitivity built over time, too deep to ignore. Taehyung offered input not to dominate, but to protect the spirit. To keep the symbol breathing. To ensure its meaning did not die in the hands of strategy. At that point, the logo stopped being design. It became a conversation. ARIRANG, name, roots, and return. From that space of dialogue, one word emerged, ARIRANG. Taehyung's suggestion, a name rooted in history, separation, and homecoming. A Korean folk melody that speaks of loss and hope, of walking alone, yet always longing to return. Thus, the 2026 BTS logo became more than a visual identity. It became a narrative of friendship, trust, and the choice to walk together without losing meaning. And this is where the public began to ask, is this really just about a logo? One sentence from Jin, one conversation that shook everything. The anticipation erupted when a simple conversation was revealed. Jin, in his relaxed manner, casually suggested something that sounded light. What if BTS formed a unit or group with a new approach? Almost at the same time, Jungkook, completely serious, asked Taehyung if he wanted to hear a song titled Taehyung Si. Taehyung's answer came without drama. What if we do something together, even if only once? What sent chills through millions of people was what happened next. Almost simultaneously, they spoke the same sentence. What if we sing a duet, even if only once? There was no script, no stage. Yet in one brief conversation, the hopes of millions rose with full force. Finally, not surprised. For many fans, the reaction was not shock, but relief. Finally, because in truth, this idea was never entirely new. In various past broadcasts, even alongside Jin, Taehyung and Jungkook had hinted at the possibility of collaboration. Those small signals were scattered over the years, like puzzle pieces deliberately left unassembled. So when the topic resurfaced in 2026, it felt like a secret that had finally stopped hiding. But there is another side of this story that made many people angry. For years, the company appeared to deliberately create distance. In official videos, major events, and important shoots, Taehyung and Jungkook were rarely placed side by side. They were separated by framing, by camera blocking, by decisions far too consistent to be called coincidence. As if there were a systematic effort to limit how often the public could see their closeness. And precisely because of that, Every brief moment together felt like an emotional explosion. Just a few seconds, yet enough to remind everyone. This connection is real, and it cannot be completely hidden. Gestures that cannot be faked. One of the most talked about moments occurred when Taehyung complained about neck pain. The request was simple, but Jungkook's response came without hesitation. He immediately massaged Taehyung's neck, reflexive, natural, without awareness of the camera. Gestures like this cannot be trained. They are born from deeply rooted care. Some say their relationship has changed, or that it is merely brotherhood. But spontaneous reactions like that cannot be fabricated. They are body language that emerges when two people are genuinely comfortable with one another. Small details that are too honest. It wasn't just one moment. There were many other photos and videos viral, yet often dismissed, showing the same thing. Taehyung bending to shield Jungkook from the cold. Jungkook fixing Taehyung's clothes without a second thought. These small details are not sensational. And precisely because of that, they are so powerful. This kind of trust is not born overnight. It is built from time, conflict, laughter, and the willingness to stay. The silencing double standard. What frustrates some fans is the double standard. The same gestures are praised when done by other members, yet questioned when they involve Taehyung and Jungkook. Personal preferences often overshadow the beauty that should be celebrated. And yet, it is this authenticity that makes their dynamic so rare. 2026. A turning point that cannot be ignored. The year 2026 feels different. As if all the small fragments we have seen, glances, touches, silent pauses, have finally found their context. If this duet truly comes to life, it will not be just a music project. It will be the embodiment of trust quietly built over years. A small step with enormous meaning. And perhaps this is the most powerful part. We are no longer waiting for sensation. We are waiting for honesty. The questions that remain. Will this be the beginning of a new chapter? Or just one moment destined to be extinguished again? One thing is certain, connections built on sincerity never truly disappear. They simply wait for the right time to surface. Now the question is no longer whether we see it, but rather, why have we been asked all this time to pretend we don't? And this is where the story truly begins. If you feel that something has finally made sense, if you've ever wondered, then chosen silence, or if you feel angry for being asked too long not to see, write it all in the comments. Your voice matters here. Don't forget to like if you feel the same emotions. Subscribe to VKOOK TV so you don't miss analysis, hidden stories, and the latest developments of VKOOK around the world, and activate the notification bell, because this story has only just begun. See you in the next video. On VKOOK TV, we don't close our eyes. We read between the lines.